Hey, it's Live with Leah and the Culinary Underground. Just having my afternoon coffee, dark and black like my heart. I'm just feeling a little tired today, so I kind of needed that pick-me-up. Hope everybody is doing well. I'm Leah of the Culinary Underground. That outside is Italy. It is an overcast, kind of chilly day. I've got the window open because with my lights and with the little heating element, it gets hot in here, but you can sort of see an Italian house and Italian grass out there. So, don't know if anybody's out there yet. Oh, cool, we do have some people. My son Alex is my little PA behind the camera today, and if you have any questions or comments, he will let me know.
Hello.
Hey, so we are going to make a tortellini and sausage soup. Now, I think there are about 1 million recipes out there for the soup, maybe like 950,000. This is my version of this soup. It's really easy. You don't even need to know how to make a roux to do this. Now, I do love roux-based sauces with the butter and the flour, and I am about teaching you or helping you build kitchen confidence and feel a little bit more confident in your kitchen. But today, I kind of feel like moving things along, so I'm going to show you how to thicken this soup without any flour. Now, there is gluten in the tortellini, so you could make this soup without the tortellini, substitute potato, use the cornstarch slurry, and you'd have a gluten-free soup. All right, so let's get started. I have a little oil in my pan, my pot. I've got some ground pork here. This is just plain pork. This is about $1.80 here at the military-based grocery store where we shop. So you can buy chicken sausage, seasoned pork sausage like the Jimmy Dean or the Johnsonville that already has flavor, but we're going to add flavor to this. I'm going to show you how I do that.
Julie Kelly says, "Good morning, my friend."
Hey Julie, how are you doing? It's nice to have you here. FYI, I've been busy this morning. I finally created a website where I can catalog all the recipes that we do here. So they're really easy to find. They have accompanying pictures. If you want to check out my new website, I will link it after the video. It is theculinaryunderground.online. Not .com, .online. And it has a little bio. It has a few recipes. I think I put up like 6 or 8 recipes this morning. I've been busy. I did it once and I kind of got it all wrong and I had to go back and do it all over again. So, I mean, it's a process. But we are on a website now. The Culinary Underground, theculinaryunderground.online. Yay! All right, so I'm going to heat this up. So I want to get this brown. My pot was a little cool. It wasn't quite hot enough. And what I want to do is I want to sear and caramelize the pork. So I do need to increase my heat to do that. This, again, is building kitchen confidence, right? We've talked about sauteing and getting your proteins caramelized, which helps add flavor. I did not do that, so I'm going to try to make up for that now in the pot.
Julie Kelly says, "Fabulous today." What? I'm so excited to see your website. How exciting.
Yeah, it's a pretty plain Jane website, but I'll work on it. I am a woman, I think, of many talents, but sitting in front of a computer doing something like that is not one of my talents. So check it out. It's pretty simple, but it'll be a catalog assortment of recipes, catalog recipes, and then on the YouTube channel we'll be transferring all the videos over so they'll be easy to find because I've navigated our Facebook page and I love it, but you don't have to scroll to find things. This way hopefully we can make things a little easier. So I'm adding about 1.5 teaspoons of fennel seeds. Now, they smell kind of licoricey, but they have a really good flavor when accompanied with sausage, especially with pork sausage. You could grind them up in a mortar and pestle, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. One of these little suckers. But at the moment, I did not feel like doing that. I want to toast the seeds with the sausage. But yes, you could like grind them up, and you'll have less seed. These are going to get soft as we cook, so I'm not that worried about it. All right, so let's see where we're at. Still not getting any brown. I can smell that fennel. Oh my gosh. It smells so good. So I'm just going to let this sit. I want that meat to get caramelized. I just need a little bit of color on that meat. Otherwise, it's just going to be kind of gray. All right, so I probably added too much meat at one time. I should have split that up. And that's why I like to do these live videos. You can see me make my mistakes in real time. I will offer you a fix, and I will do my best to fix it live as well. But, you know, if you don't feel like caramelizing your meat, that's okay too. You could literally throw every ingredient for soup in a pan, let it simmer and boil for half an hour, and it would be fine. It wouldn't be nuanced with that like layer of flavor, but you would have soup. soups are forgiving and I absolutely love them. So in this recipe, once I get my pork kind of cooked up and nice and caramelized, I'm going to add an onion. I just have one yellow onion. I have an abundance of shredded carrots every week because I cook for my friends with them, and I usually put them in my fresh salads. So I always have these shredded carrots. I don't want them to go to waste, so what I'm going to do is chop up half of these and toss them in with the onion, as well as some celery, and that's what's called mirepoix. It's our French term for carrots, onions, and celery, which is the basis of like almost every classical French dish. This also translates to many different cultures and many different cuisines. In Cajun cooking, it is bell peppers, celery, onions, and garlic, I believe. In Italian, it is onion, celery, and garlic, and carrots. We are going to add garlic as well. So it sort of just builds the flavor. All right. Alright, I'm not getting any caramelization, but I'm not giving up. I'm going to let this go just a little bit longer. So, in addition to my onion, my celery, and my carrot, I have some minced garlic. I also have a little bit of garlic powder and onion powder granulated. So as we are going through and building up the flavors of this soup and we get to the end, one of the things I encourage with your cooking is to taste when it's safe to sample your food as you're cooking it. So right now we would not taste the raw pork, obviously, but as we're simmering with broth and with cream and spinach and carrots and onions and celery and the sauce, the soup is almost done, we're going to want to taste it. I think that's really important, which I think a lot of people maybe don't always do, is at the end of your cooking, before you plate it up for your family or your friends, give it a little taste. That is the perfect time to add that bit of garlic or that bit of onion powder or salt or pepper as you need it. It's super important. And you'd be surprised how often you probably don't do it. But while I always start out with like fresh garlic and onions when I build my recipes, I will be honest, at the end, sometimes it just needs that little bit of something. Oh, can you see what's going on? Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to see for myself.
Okay, so I've got a few brown bits here. Unfortunately, I started off with too much moisture in my meat. I didn't drain it when I opened up the package, so my meat was wet. Therefore, I have sausage that is not quite browning, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. I will live. So I'm going to season the first part of my meat here and with a little salt and a little bit of pepper. I use kosher salt. It's what I learned how to do in culinary school. I just love kosher salt. I love crinkling it with my fingers. I don't quite do like a Salt Bae or a booyah or anything like that. I just like to sprinkle it. Feels good. So let's add a little bit of onion. And when I say a little bit, I mean a whole chopped onion. One of the things I love about making soup is you don't have to worry how pretty your knife cuts are. Just get it chopped up and get it in the soup. So now the onions are going to start to soften up and cook with that fat that came off of that pork and with that little bit of oil that's in my pan. I did use just a plain olive oil because I wanted to saute, so this oil can handle the high heat of the pan. You would not want to do this with extra virgin olive oil. We are going to use some EVOO at the end to drizzle over the soup for a really pretty presentation and just a little extra pop of flavor. It's going to make it a little rich and really good. All right, so let's add our celery. I have roughly 2 parts of onion to 1 part celery. Get that in there. See, I hope everybody around the world, whoever's watching, I know Julie's in Tulsa. Everybody's doing well and staying safe. Here in Italy, we've been under some restrictions. So for the last few weeks, we've been in what's called orange. There's yellow, lightest, orange, and red. And the orange means that we cannot leave our towns, our municipalities, unless we have like doctor's appointments or grocery shopping or something to do. You can't just kind of go wandering around at the shops. And most of the shops are closed on the weekends. But we are now in yellow, which means we can move in our state, in our region. And we're in Friuli, Venezia Giulia, FVG. It's a beautiful region, home to the San Daniele prosciutto region, Montasio cheese, all kinds of good stuff. And we can move freely around. Us, as a family, we're not quite moving around yet. We're just kind of laying low still. But we do have a little bit more freedom to go out and about right now. All right, onion is cooking, celery is cooking. I chopped up roughly a little bit of my carrots. You don't have to chop them up, I just did. And you can see I'm using the dull end of my knife, not the sharp end, to scrape across my cutting board. I don't want to dull my blade. All right.
That's a good tip, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So the smells already, I mean, this is just some meat, some fennel, salt and pepper, celery, onions, and carrots. This is like the basis of any soup, in my opinion, any stew. The meats are versatile, but the main players stay the same. So I'm going to add in a little bit of garlic. I did not add this at the beginning with the oil because I didn't want to take the risk of burning my garlic. I don't know about you, I do not care for the taste of like burnt or overly toasted garlic. Toasted garlic, yes. Roasted, amazing. Burnt, not so much. So now the garlic is going to season and flavor our dish without becoming too strong or burnt. All right. Do you have any questions? Anybody say anything?
No, just a lot of people watching.
Okay, cool. Well, welcome, guys. If you're tuning in, I have a website now. theculinaryunderground.online is the new page, not Facebook, but website. And it's where we're going to catalog all the recipes with the pictures for every recipe that we make live. So it's going to make it so much easier to find whatever you're looking for. If you maybe tuned in once, caught an episode, you weren't sure how long ago it was, you don't want to sit there and scroll through the Facebook page for an hour trying to find that recipe. It's going to be so much easier. I had like 20 of them up on the page, but I didn't save them correctly. So I'm going through and rebuilding the page. I have about 8 recipes on there. I will get better, I promise. Oh my gosh, my stomach is rumbling. This smells so good. All right, so we're moving things along because I know you guys don't have all day. You've got things to do this evening. Maybe you want to make your own dinner or your own soup. So I'm going to get started. At this point, if you wanted to use flour, you could throw in about 2 tablespoons to a 1/4 cup of flour. And then that would help create a roux. We do have some fat in here. We don't have a lot of fat, but I'm going to skip that step and I'm going to thicken it up later with a cornstarch slurry. So I'm just going to add some chicken stock. You could add pork stock if you have it. And I'm adding in a whole carton, which is, what is it, like a quart? 32 ounces of stock. You don't have to use chicken stock if you know the cupboards are kind of bare and you have a few ingredients on hand. You can use water as long as you season that water with the onions, the carrots, the celery, the garlic powder, the onion powder, and taste it. In most big restaurants, I'm talking about like kind of corporate or where we kind of have to watch the bottom line all the time, we will use water as a base unless we've made our own stock and have stock on hand.
Julie Talley says, I spend so much time going back to review your recipes, lol. And Vicky Michelle says, can you post the link later?
I will post the link, absolutely.
When we're done with this, we'll probably have the link in the bio of the account.
Okay.
And we might add it to the caption of this post.
Yeah, I'll find a way to get on there. Alex is literally speaking Greek to me right now, so my head right now is dizzying with like URLs and yada yada yadas and ABCs. Like, I do not enjoy sitting in front of the computer to do anything other than check my email. And even then, I have 4,000 unread messages, so
well, I'll be here to give a hand.
All right, so my kiddo will help me out. And if you're tuning in and you don't know who my kiddo is, he's behind the camera right now. He's absolutely amazing. He's 16. We started these last year when it seemed like he was a foot shorter. But he's grown. He's going to be 17 in a few weeks. He's my pride and joy, and I absolutely love him. And hopefully he'll be able to reflect on these videos when he's in college, making food for himself, living on his own. You never know. All right, I'm going to need this to come up to a boil, so it's hot. Alex, can you grab me the lid? We're going to put a lid on this and see if we can get this. It's on the shelf. Oh, you're going to play Jenga. Come under. And see if we can get this boiling. All right, we're just moving this along as quickly as possible. So in this time, I don't really have anything going on. So I'm going to grate a little cheese for my soup. Got a little cheese grater thingy here. I've got a bowl. And we can just kind of hang out. If you have any questions about this soup or maybe about a recipe that maybe I can help you out with, or if you live in the region, I do take spouses on grocery store tours. No fee, no, it's completely free. It's me giving back to the community. And I am doing one next week. So if you live in the region here and you haven't heard about it, hit me up, and I'd love to have you join one of our tours. I went a few weeks ago with another spouse, and we hit up the Cadoro, showed her some things there that she hadn't seen, took her to the Lidl, which she'd never been to, showed her some of my favorite wines, some of my favorite finds. So I'm here for anything. I don't know it all. Even as a chef, I learn everything that I don't know as I go along. But I love shopping on the economy here, and there's some great finds out here.
Jeremiah Warren says, I finally found the bowls. Silly face.
Oh, sweet! Yeah, in case you're wondering, somebody did ask me on Base of the Day, where do I get my bowls at? I get them at Casa, which is a chain here in Europe. C-A-S-A, Casa. And I love these like stone bowls. They're absolutely beautiful. My food just pops in the black bowl. But I also have these beautiful white bowls that I love, and I'm really excited. I have all the plates and everything. I love them, so I'm glad you found them. All right, so grating some cheese. That's gonna be the topper of my soup. Again, I don't know what time it is. I hope I'm not going too slow for you guys. I apologize. I'm just so happy to be here. I didn't think I was gonna make it today. This is like my real kitchen that I cook in every day, and I'll be honest, I took my sweet time doing the breakfast dishes today. They did have a little bit of dinner dishes from last night. I was busy building this website, and I came downstairs a little after 2, saw my disaster, and got to cleaning before we went live, so.
Julie Talley says, I have those same black bowls.
Oh, yay, Julie! That makes me so happy. Don't you just love them? I love them. All right, so I'm gonna move things along. My soup may not be 100%, but at home when you do this, take your time, of course, let your ingredients cook together. In the essence of just keeping the show moving, we're just gonna continue on.
Vicky Michelle says, can you do a show and make tiramisu? Now, I'm pretty sure we did make one of those a while back, but...
Yes, we did make tiramisu, and I will post that recipe on the website, theculinaryunderground.online. I will also link it to the YouTube channel, Vicky, so if you want to check it out, and then if I'm able to, I will find it in the archives, and I will private message it to you, or maybe email it to you if you want to send me your email address on a private message on a DM. Okay, soup is going slowly, but let's move along. At this point, we'll pretend that it's simmered, it's bubbling, the veggies have softened up a bit. We're gonna add a little bit of cream to the soup. Now, you don't have to use cream. You can use half and half or milk. I just have cream on hand, so I'm using it. I had a cup here. I like creamy soups, so I added in about a half a cup.
Yes, the bowls were found at Casa.
Yeah.
Vicky Michelle was just clarifying.
Okay, cool, yeah.
Yeah.
I went to the one in Pordenone, but I think the one in Chile is even bigger. All right, now I need this to bubble so I can add in the cornstarch slurry. So I'm gonna cover it up again for a second. We are gonna add some fresh spinach to this. And you can add in that beautiful, delicate baby spinach, which we're gonna add at the end because it's gonna wilt down really fast. We want it to stay really nice and vibrant. But I happen to have this bag of like big monster spinach leaves. So I'm just gonna clean them up and take off some of these stems. Perfectly okay to eat. This is just a little bit more of a refined presentation.
Julie Talley says, on your Healthy Eats video, will any tuna work?
What?
On your Healthy Eats video, will any tuna work?
Yes, any tuna will work. Albacore, chunk light, whatever you like. The only one that I probably wouldn't, well, you could make a tuna salad with a grilled ahi tuna steak. I would recommend dicing the raw tuna steak and then sauteing it and cooking it up for just a few minutes to cook through, and then tossing that with the rest of the ingredients. Don't mash it with the chickpeas, but mash the chickpeas separately and then toss it all together. So yeah, any tuna will work. That's such a great recipe too, because it's all those flavors of like a nice tuna sandwich, but definitely a little bit healthier, and it gives you just a little bit more with those chickpeas. I'm over here spilling spinach. So spinach and tortellinis. I just have this bag of tortellinis. It's like a pound that I picked up from the market. I've had this in the freezer. You can freeze fresh pasta. I'd recommend for about 4 to 6 weeks. I like having it on hand because I can always boil it and then add it to a cream sauce, add it to some pesto, add it to a soup, add it to a little bit of butter with some toasted pine nuts and sage. I mean, just butter and Parmesan alone is amazing, or a little cream. It's so good, so easy. All right, we're starting to get a little simmer here. So I'm going to make my slurry. I have the world's smallest container of cornstarch. I'm going to take about a tablespoon and a half and mix that with equal parts of cold water. Let me get that out of the way so you can see. And I'm just making a little slurry, a little paste. I just want to dissolve that cornstarch. Once the cornstarch dissolves and we add it to simmering / boiling soup, the heat from the soup, it has to reach a certain temperature, will help the cornstarch cream the soup up and make it nice and thick. This might not be enough. I always start out with just a little and then I add more. You can always add, but you can't take away. And if for some reason you put in too much cornstarch and it became thick and pasty, you will end up with a lot of soup, but you can always add more water, add broth, add a little bit of milk to thin it out to the desired consistency that you want. All right, I got a little, did I get a little something in there? No, that's just a shadow. Okay, adding my cornstarch, and I'm gonna give it a little stir, and right where I added that cornstarch in, it already got kind of thick. So I might need to add a little bit, but since we're gonna add pasta, I'm gonna hold off because the pasta will absorb some of this water. All right, and I'm not looking for like a creamy potato soup. I just want some body to it.
Julie Tully says, will it change the flavor?
It will not change the flavor. Cornstarch doesn't have any like real flavor, so you're safe. It's great in cooking. I've started sauces like with a roux to begin with, and then had to finish up with maybe a little bit of cornstarch because it was thin and it doesn't affect the flavor. But if you're following Culinary Underground guidelines, you're gonna taste as you go and you will adjust if you maybe feel that it did. All right, so I'm adding in my tortellini. This is a completely American dish too. I'm in Italy, but I do not think an Italian would eat a tortellini with this much to it. They'll usually eat it with like a broth, a nice light broth with the noodles or the pasta inside. So uniquely American for my uniquely American friends. All right, so I do want to probably get a little bit of more cornstarch ready. Not much, it doesn't need much, and a little bit of water. And let's get this lid on. Oh my gosh. Can you guys believe it's February? Well, January did last about 3 years. Hopefully February stays a little bit longer, but not as long as January. Our sweetheart turned 17, so we're excited this month. Yay.
Julie Tully says, always follow the guidelines. Well,
yep, right, always got to taste. All right, so I'm getting ready. Again, there was really no way to kind of speed this up to make it go any faster. It's been about 22, 24 minutes. I did talk for like the first 4 minutes, so we're about 20 minutes in. We're not doing too badly. Again, if you were doing this at home, you didn't have me gammon in your ear, you'd probably be boiling a little faster than what I am now. Ooh, we are simmering though, so we're looking good. My little induction burner is as high as it will go. And all we have to do right now is just chill out and hang out for a minute. If you're kind of new to the page and you've made it this far in, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm not retired, but I used to be a chef, still am a chef. I have taken some time from the kitchen because here in Italy, due to the restrictions with military, my husband's military, American, we can't really work on the economy here. So, that being said, in order to keep my skills sharp, I cook for my friends, I do some little catering events, and it's been a year almost that I've taken to making live Facebook videos to just help people in our area, around the world, feel a little bit more comfortable in the kitchen, since we are all doing probably a lot more cooking than we ever anticipated doing during 2020 and 2021. So this is just my little way of staying busy, giving myself something to do. I don't talk to anybody throughout the week, so you guys are it. It's like the most talking that I do to people that are not my immediate family. So it's my therapy and I appreciate it. All right. So my tortellini should only take a few minutes to cook. It says 5 minutes on the package. We're again speeding this up because I know you do have things to do. You want to be here all day. So I'm gonna give it a little stir. I'm gonna taste and see where we're at. Got a nice simmer. It's already starting to thicken up without adding the secondary cornstarch because the pasta is absorbing some of that water as it's cooking, some of that broth and flavor. So this is gonna be amazing. This will be our dinner tonight. That's one of the things about the Culinary Underground is I try to be as transparent as possible. Everything that we make in this kitchen and on this show, we as a family will eat. Sometimes it might be an extra that's aside from a regular meal and a regular dinner. Sometimes it is dinner. So everything here is edible. If it's not right as I'm making it, you will see me adjust it in real time. Oh my gosh, I can taste the celery. That's good. Okay, I can taste the onion. I'm going to add some more pepper. We're gonna start to season now. We're at the finishing stage of our meal. I like pepper. I like cream and pepper. That's a personal preference. A little bit of salt. It didn't need much. It just needed a little bit. I'm going to do another little stir here. I'm gonna add in some of this Parmesan. I have about 1/3 of a cup of grated Parmesan. And this is gonna give it some richness and a little bit of depth. If you collect Parmesan rinds from, when you have your whole block of Parm, you have this rind here, save these. You can keep them in the freezer for months, right? If you're making a soup, minestrone, creamy soup, vegetable soup, whatever, you can toss that rind into that soup at the beginning of the process, and it will just bring this flavor and this richness, kind of glistening, glossy richness to your soup. It's great. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my spinach. And this looks like a lot of spinach, but it's gonna cook down to almost nothing. Whoop. Did you see that? I got splashed. The joys of live. But this is what I get because I hate editing videos. So if you see me editing a video, it was like my least favorite thing to do. All right. Nice. This is super thick, so I'm going to add a little bit more cream. If you can see, this spinach is wilting down. It's beautiful. I'm going to add the last bit of cream, and it probably could use a little bit of water too. I don't know. Oh, it's right here. So I'm just going to rinse out this little bit of cream. There we go. A little bit more liquid. But I want this to be like a nice, thick, eat it with a spoon, stick to your ribs soup. Oh my gosh. Look at that. What do you think, Alex?
I
Does
think
it
it
look
looks
good?
delicious. I definitely have to get a bite after.
Oh yeah, you're getting a bite. Now I do want it a little thicker, so a little bit of this cream or a little bit of the slurry just to tighten it up because I did not grate enough Parmesan. Oh yeah. You can almost feel it thicken up pretty quickly. Oh. All right, let's plate up a bowl. But before that, taste, taste, taste. Let's do a little bit of garlic powder just to finish it up and a little pinch of onion powder. So maybe a teaspoon. I have little pinches. All right, perfect. One more taste, just to make sure. Oh yeah. I think the only other thing that I would have done differently was maybe a few pinches of crushed red pepper at the beginning with the sausage, or using like a kind of spicy sausage would really bring that up a little bit. So let's do a little plate here. I want you to see the soup, a little broth, a little bit more tortellini here. Oh my gosh, look at that. This is absolutely gorgeous. Turn that off, clean off my edge.
Good
now
presentation.
For service, I'm just gonna do a little bit of pepper so you can see that against that beautiful cream sauce, and a little bit more cheese. And this soup is done. or is it? Last step, right? If you have some nice, rich, good, I was gonna keep saying rich, good extra virgin olive oil, give it just a little drizzle.
Julie Talley says, I've never used a block of Parmesan.
Oh, what, Julie? You need to get yourself a block of Parmesan, my friend. So good. So here we have some delicious, thick and creamy, it's still sizzling because this is an induction burner, it's not turning off right away. Creamy soup, tortellini, sausage, carrots, onions, celery, spinach, a little bit of Parmesan cheese, a little bit of slurry to make it creamy, some chicken stock, a little bit of cream, and then a nice drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. Final taste. Oh, sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Hot, hot, hot. That was really good. You want to try it?
Yeah.
I'd like to introduce you to my son, Alex. Give it a shot, kiddo.
Ooh, it's hot.
It's hot.
Okay. I'm better at that than I am.
Let's keep it moving. It's hot. Good?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the Culinary Underground here in Italy. Italy's out there. This handsome guy is right here. Check out our new website, theculinaryunderground.online. We'll post the link with the recipe. Go there to find our catalog recipes and have a great day in the States. Have a great evening here in Italy. Thank you so much for giving me your time and spending it with me. I appreciate it. Ciao. Talk to you later. See you next week.